This meeting of the Board of Election Commissioners for the City of Chicago is called to order. I am Commissioner Bill Cressy. Our board chair, Maricel Hernandez, is not here today. However, there are two commissioners here, which gives us a legal quorum. And as is the tradition of this board, the more senior of the two commissioners convenes the meeting. And yes, I am more senior, sorry.
That's true.
In different, in lots of different ways, yes, unfortunately. But as such, if there are no objections, I will continue in the role as chair of this meeting. Thank you. And let's, first order of business is roll call. So Commissioner June Brown.
Present.
And Commissioner William Cressy is also present. So as I stated, that gives us a legal quorum. Consideration of the agenda. Any proposed changes to the agenda?
None.
Hearing none, we will continue with the agenda as stated. The next order of business is the approval of the minutes of the regular board meeting of October 24, 2023. Chair will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved by Commissioner Brown.
Seconded by Commissioner Cressy. All in favor, say aye.
Commissioner Brown votes aye.
Commissioner Cressy votes aye. So the minutes are approved. Next is our Executive Director's report, so I call upon our Executive Director, Charles Holliday.
Commissioner Cressy and Brown.
Good morning.
Morning.
Met with our community partner, Asian Americans Advancing Justice, on their observation from the municipal and runoff election about ballot translation of election material, poll workers, and accessibility for voters with disability. We are looking forward to going over their recommendations and continue our partnership with them in the future for our upcoming elections. We connected with PCs for People, a nonprofit organization, to donate poll books. Again, this has been done. We also met with the Office of Budget Management and Department of Access Information and Service remediation of some remodeling issues at our warehouse. This work has started, and they will work around us while we prepare for the upcoming election. I've also attended several meetings with the staff on processes and procedures for the upcoming election. Well on the way. Tomorrow, along with the Assistant Director, Sandra Barrett, IT Manager, Matt Williams, and Warehouse Management, we will meet with our cybersecurity team to go over the security in our warehouse. On Saturday, I participated as a panelist at Cole on voter registration, your ballot, poll workers, permanent vote by mail roster, an opportunity for our board to come out and help educate their communities on voting. There was our Lance Goff, who's a member of the voter education committee with Cole. He was the moderator of the affair, and I think he may have a few words he wants to speak on.
Minister Goff.
So much. First of all, I'd like to thank Charles Holliday for coming out. He was our first speaker. Then we also had Geneva Morris out there and Tony. And when we first got there, we had over 100 chairs and it looked a little empty. About 10 minutes into the meeting, we were full. So we had over 100 people. And we had it Zoomed, and over 300 people watched it on Zoom. In fact, I got a phone call from my mom in Oakland saying, I saw you on my Zoom. I said, okay, Mom. So I said, how did we do? She said, very good. I said, all right.
That's the only critique that matters.
That's all I was worried about. But I want to thank the board for having Charles and the staff come out there. They did an excellent job. We had several speakers, not only Charles, but we had Mark Wallace on by 10 by 10, going over some of the some of the black voting blocks that we were talking about. Our Tunisia's was talking about young people and voting, and Tyrone Mohammed was talking about ex-felons coming back into vote. So it was a real good panel, and I thank everybody and thank the board members for allowing this.
Just for the record, can you tell us what COAL stands for?
Coalition of African American Leaders.
Thank you.
In fact, it's all the different organizations together under one umbrella, and it's under COAL.
Excellent. Thank you for your leadership on that.
On the Bring Home Chicago ballot, language, some of the audience wanted that language, so I got it and I emailed it to them, and then Cole will also be putting it in their newsletter, letting the remainder community know the exact language that's going to be on the ballot for that question.
Excellent.
We will do a monthly newsletter straight on through.
Okay. Very good.
So that ends my report, Commissioner.
Thank you. Next item is the Assistant Executive Director's Report, and I call upon Sandra Aspera.
Good morning, Commissioner Cressy, Commissioner Brown. There are several items in my report today. To start, the mock election is scheduled for Thursday, December 14th. As of today, there are 3,440 judges who plan to participate in the 2024 primary election. Also, there are 758 approved applications for election coordinators who will be returning. The first day a voter may apply for a vote-by-mail ballot is Wednesday, December 20th. The nursing home packages will be delivered over 3 days, beginning Wednesday and ending Friday of this week. The last day to file objections was yesterday, December 11th. Staff will be working on objections starting December 19th. Our ADA compliance officer planned and conducted an ADA training session for the entire staff. I attended the office and the warehouse sessions. For the March 2024 primary election, the board is required to have curbside voting at least one vote center. This location will be at our super site. The voting cards for curbside voting have been ordered, and staff is working on procedures. As of this past Friday, the warehouse has completed the upgrade and maintenance of 2,502 ICX touchscreens and 1,418 ICP2 scanners. And this concludes my report.
Thank you.
I don't know if this comes from Adam or you, Madam Aspera, but as far as the last day to file objections was yesterday, do we have any idea how many we received? That would be you?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll be getting to that in a moment
Okay,
if you don't mind.
fine.
Yeah.
I'll wait. Thank you.
Okay. We now move to our Public Information Director, Max Bever, and to the folks watching at home, I assure you he is here, but he is behind the camera, so we can hear him but not see him.
Thank you, Commissioners. Good morning. I know that I've been talking about it for months, but we are finally here. We are set to go live with our new ChicagoElections.gov. Tomorrow, we're looking approximately at 4 p.m. near the end of the day. We are doing some final testing and security checks. We'll let you know if any of that date or time is flexible, but we have put in a good amount of work, a big team effort throughout the whole of the board staff to get us to this point. Had a presentation yesterday with many of our community partners, a digital presentation walkthrough of our new website. We're getting good feedback already. Also good feedback for what can be improved or other things that we can include. I imagine once we do go live and people start using the website, we'll get some more direct feedback. But we'll have it up and running a week before vote by mail starts. So it'll give us some time to get people used to the new website, promote it on our social media, have people ready to use the new online application. But starting at 9 a.m. Wednesday the 20th, we'll have our new vote-by-mail application ready for people. Again, this includes the permanent roster, which is a first, and I do believe we might be a national leader when it comes to our online application and the permanent roster. We are looking to grow that list as we head into 2024. Many communications plans plans, reaching out to our vote-by-mail voters, first to let all registered voters in the city know that vote-by-mail is open, but we will be following up with all of our permanent roster voters to confirm where they want their ballot sent, their preferred party ballot ahead of the primary election. We have just over 96,000 that will be receiving a ballot for the primary election. Over 130 signed up for for general elections, but we do expect that number to grow now that this option is online, and we'll be spending the next weeks communicating to voters about this option. But we're excited. We are here. The community services team, in addition to their work with the executive director and with Lance Goff over at Cole, has been out in the community, more voter registration and election judge recruitment drives at city colleges, including Harold Washington College, over the past 2 weeks, as well as Sikh temples within the community with Kimi Mehta and our Hindi-speaking community services team. So they are hard at work. They are recruiting bilingual judges, which is our main focus for our recruitment right now as we are heading into next year. And as the executive director mentioned, I just wanted to add a little bit more, but we are proud to partner with PCs for People. They will be taking on and recycling our over 4,300 former e-poll books. As the executive director mentioned, those poll books have already been wiped clean and have already had security checks from our staff. But PCs for People does one more and will present us with with a receipt as well as certificate of that cleaning and on that clearance. But they are a national nonprofit. They have partnered with city agencies, with the county before. They work with governments to do exactly this type of work to make sure that whatever tablet can be refurbished and reused in the community with low-income families, and those that cannot will be recycled, properly recycled, and that is a benefit to the organization because they can get that e-recycling funds back, which funds their work. But they will be picked up on Friday, and we are happy that we came to a good solution with a good nonprofit for our former poll pads as we get ready with our new ones for the 2024 election. And I believe that's it for my report.
And just for the record, our e-poll books essentially are much like what I have here, are tablets. And about how many of them will we be recycling back into the community? Do we know?
4,300. They are Toshiba tablets. They are an older generation, but many of them could still work. A lot of them through the cleaning and getting them ready process, quite a few of them likely will be recycled, but ultimately all of this is still helpful for this organization and get money back on the recycling supplies. But they are taking them, free of charge for delivery for us. They'll be picking them up on Friday. They will be recycling safely. There's a lot of work that goes into that. So this was not only just a cost-effective partnership with the board, but a quick one as we now have all of our new poll pads heading into the next election.
Thank you, and thank you for acknowledging just because you're older means you can still work. I'll take that personally. Any questions for Max?
None.
Okay. Then the next is our old business. First, infrastructure projects and changes in election administration. Any changes in that? Electronic poll books. Anything further on that?
Currently being trained in a new e-poll book and going through the procedures of preparing them for the upcoming election.
And we're good on a timetable to be prepared for the March election?
Yes,
and
we
for
are.
early voting before then?
Yes, we are. Well, yes,
Oh,
but
early
early
voting.
voting is with the
Which is a
laptops.
laptop, that's right. Any other voting equipment issues?
None, just
good?
all equipment is being prepped and prepared for the upcoming primary election.
Okay, and with that, we turn to General Counsel Adam Lasker with legislation.
Thank you, Commissioner Cressy. Nothing to report today, waiting until they go into session in the middle of January.
My favorite report from you. Okay, very good. Then we move on to new business. And the first item of new business is approval of attorney contract agreements for our electoral board hearing officers. And for that, I again turn to General Counsel Adam Lasker.
Thank you again, Commissioner Cressy. And Commissioner Brown, now I do have some numbers for you.
Great.
We've got 33 ward committee person objections from, that were filed with the county clerk, and they're headed upstairs this morning. From the State Board of Elections, there are 9 candidates objected to. I don't actually know exactly how many cases, probably 9 cases, but if any of them have multiple objections against them, I'm not aware of that yet. What I know is 9 candidates under our jurisdiction from state representative offices. So what we're looking at is approximately a total of 42 objections. That's down slightly from 46 objections in 2020, but I find it interesting that the ward committee person objections have gone up from 23 to 33 since 4 years ago in the presidential cycle. So the state assembly went from 19 down to 9. State house, I should say.
So one went up by 10, one went down by 10.
Approximately, yeah. So we're at about the same total number, but different categories of cases. And way down from 2016, where there were 103 total cases in that presidential election cycle. The numbers have been dropping, which
Do we have any congressional candidates, or?
we do have, of the candidates that we received from the state, 3 of those candidates are congressional candidates with objections against them in the 7th congressional district, which is the only congressional district under the jurisdiction of our electoral board. The other congressional districts expand outside of Cook County. Even though they touch Chicago, they're not under our electoral board jurisdiction because they extend beyond more than one county.
Understood. Very well then. As to this motion, you have anything to say as to these attorneys to work as our electoral board hearing officers?
Well, just that these are all attorneys who have either served as a hearing officer for us before, or there's one new hearing officer who has handled hundreds of objection cases in his private practice before he became a judge on the circuit court here in Cook County, and then up to the appellate court. He's just recently retired from the appellate court and is looking for a little side work to do. He's going to be a tremendous addition to the team.
Yes, it's sure will be. Any questions for Adam?
No,
Commissioner?
I just wanted the numbers. Thank you.
Very good. In that case, the chair will entertain a motion to authorize the executive director to execute legal services contracts with the following attorneys for service as electoral board hearing officers to be paid at the rate of $200 per hour, with a durational term that shall begin on December 12, 2023 and continue through December 31, 2024. And those attorneys are Christopher Agrella, John Ashenden, Kevin Bry, Demetrius Carney, Yamil Colon, Linda Crane, Edmundo Cuevas, Matthias Delort, Pedro Fernandez, Terrence Flynn, Daniel Hernandez, Laura Jacksack, Mary Celeste Meehan, Joseph Morris, Lynn Ostfeld, Joe Ponsetto, Ellen Raymond, James Rosas, Rodney Stewart, Frank Tedesco, and Richard Zolke. Is there such a motion?
So moved by Commissioner Brown.
And seconded by Commissioner Cressy. All in favor, say aye.
Commissioner Brown votes aye.
And Commissioner Cressy votes aye. The motion passes. The next matter up before the board is the approval of an attorney contract agreement with Lanner Munchen Limited for employment-related legal services. Mr. Lasker.
Thank you very much. We have discussed with you, commissioners, some employment-related HR matters, and you did agree that it would be a good idea to retain outside independent counsel. So we did find a qualified firm, Lanner Munchen, with attorneys who are able to get started right away. So we would request a ratification and approval of that legal services agreement.
Very well then. As such, the chair will entertain a motion to ratify and approve a legal services agreement with the law firm of Lanner Munchen Limited for employment-related legal services at the rates of $350 per hour for partners and of counsel attorneys, $275 per hour for associate attorneys, and $150 per hour for paralegals, with a term beginning on November 29, 2023 and continuing through completion of the project. And before we go any further, did you have any questions for Attorney Lasker, Commissioner Brown?
So this is the ratification. No, I don't think I have anything else. So they've already started the work?
Correct.
All right.
Very well then, I've entertained that motion. Is there such a motion?
So moved per Commissioner Brown.
And seconded by Commissioner Cressy. All in favor, say aye.
Commissioner Brown votes aye.
And Commissioner Cressy votes aye. The motion passes. The next item on the agenda is approval of bid awards and contracts for cartage services for the 2024 election for a number of different companies. And presenting on this will be, well, I'll throw it first to Adam to be the ringmaster on this. So to General Counsel Adam Lasker.
Thank you again, Commissioner. This is a procurement, an IFB, an invitation for bids that goes out every few election cycles. So here we are again. I'm going to turn it over to Amanda Robledo from the procurement office because she did manage the IFB.
Good morning, Commissioner Cressy, Commissioner Brown.
Morning.
Good morning. The Procurement Office has reviewed, evaluated, and recommends that the invitation for bid cartage of election equipment, geographical areas for the 2024 elections in the City of Chicago to be considered for awards. The cartage services are for the 2024 presidential, primary, and general elections. The Procurement Office issued a competitive bid solicitation seeking the lowest responsive and responsible bidders who had the capabilities to perform cartage transportation services for the City of Chicago's 2024 elections by geographical areas. The City of Chicago was divided into 4 roughly equal geographical areas to create competitive opportunities for multiple bidders. Dividing the city into equal areas allows for small businesses to bid a portion of the city. There is also a 5th category called special cartage. Bidders were given the option to bid one or more of the 5 categories. The term of the contract is from the date of the board's approval, expiring December 12th of 2024 with options to renew. The board received bids from a total of 4 bidders: Midway Moving and Storage, Inc., BP Movers, Inc., Aaron Bros Moving Systems, Inc., and Midwest Moving and Storage, Inc. Midway bid geographical areas A through D and special cartage. BP Movers bid geographical areas B and an incomplete bid for special cartage. Aaron Bros bid geographical areas D and special cartage. Midwest bid geographical areas A through D and special cartage. BP was the lowest bidder for area B. However, that vendor has no prior experience with the board's cartage needs, and prior experience is a crucial evaluation factor for the board's geographical cartage areas. BP was also disqualified in the special category area due to having submitted an incomplete bid. Based off of each bidder's pricing proposals and an evaluation of their experience and apparent capabilities, for the following firms are recommended for awards: Geographical Area A, Midway Moving and Storage, in the amount not to exceed $1 million. Geographical Area B, Midwest Moving, in the amount not to exceed $1 million. Geographical Area C, Midwest Moving, in the amount not to exceed $1 million. Geographical Area D, Aaron Bros Moving, in the amount not to exceed $1 million. And the special cartage area to Aaron Bros in the amount not to exceed $28,000. I've attached the bid tabulation sheets detailing each bidder's pricing. Please consider approving the above listed firms to each of the designated geographical area cartage categories and for special cartage services. Thank you.
Mr. Lasker.
If I may, I just have a few more things to add from Clinton Hurd. He's the manager of the pre-election voting and logistics division here. That's the division that does manage cartage. He couldn't be at today's meeting because there's a lot going on. Oh, he is there. Well, I could speak on his behalf, or I just wanted to throw in a few more of the details on the practice of trying to get the new vendors that have never done work for the board before on cartage into that special cartage category, or to get some experience as subcontractors. What Mr. Hurd told me is that we've got, Midwest is being awarded A and C for the geographical categories. They haven't been with us for a few years, but they've got a long history of working with the board. They're a very large company, and they've done well in the past. So that experience helped them win for that's categories B and C. Midway Moving has been with us for several years and has good experience. The decision was made to go to the second lowest bidder in category B because the Midwest has experience, whereas BP Movers has never done cartage for the board. We really wanted BP to be able to move into the special cartage category then, which would have been a great way for them to get the experience, but they submitted an incomplete bid. The IFB does expressly say you have to bid for an entire category if you're going to place a bid at all. And then Mr. Robledo actually did a clarification or a request for best and finals and pointed out yet again you have to bid the complete category, and they yet again did not submit a complete bid. So unfortunately disqualified on that. The last vendor to discuss is Aaron Brothers, which then is the second lowest in special cartage. So they're getting special cartage but also geographical area D. Aaron Brothers, which is a minority-owned business, is a good example of the process we have to get prior experience. They first started as a subcontractor in one of the geographical areas, and they proved themselves quite well. And then in the last election cycle, then they moved themselves up to the geographical D category and proved themselves yet again as a prime contractor there, and now they're being awarded the category D and special cartage. So it's a bit of an unfortunate result for BP, but we hope to see them back in future bids on this too.
But that's the very fair process that we follow. And just for the record, you used the expression IFB, that's invitation for bid. And again, for the record, I'd like to point out our invitation for bid was a 63-page document detailing everything that was required here. So this is no quick item here. We do work on this rigorously.
Yes, sir.
Any questions?
Yes. Is there a reason for, in the dollar amounts, that we didn't put by bid, but we have a generic 1 million amount?
There was an analysis done by the finance department, and so the 1 million is that even lower than the bid amount slightly? So the way that the bid process works is we put basically every possible category of services into the bid, and they have to give us unit pricing for all of that.
Right, that's right.
But then she took a look at what we're actually anticipating to need, and so our actual anticipated needs are lower than the total value of their bids.
And in general, we're talking cartage, we're talking about delivering the equipment to the polling places throughout the city in a very short timeline as well. And we divide up the city into 4 regions.
Geographic areas.
Right, and how many polling places approximately are we serving here?
Well, we've got
1,291 precincts.
12,
plus this is also for the 52 early voting sites, and it's roughly 4 relatively equal units to the
Right,
CFP.
so it's
About
a
400.
very
apiece,
large
yeah.
job is what
Yeah.
we're talking
So
about.
we maxed out, it was less than what all of them would get, or is it averaged out? When you say that it was the 1 million for each one of the bidders,
Yeah.
we're maxing them out at 1 million, and that is less than all of them bidded?
Correct, because they bid for some categories. Now, it's not much less, but I think 1.2, 1.3 may have been. Or Amanda, is that approximately correct?
And they're willing to accept that lower amount? Or we
Well,
will find out.
Their bid again. It's what they're not going to be paid is for services they're not going to perform. So I think that they're going to be happy to.
I'm not getting that. What
Well,
is it?
let's just. I don't know. Should we say pizzas or cheeseburgers? Let's say you got 10 different cheeseburgers on the menu, and it could cost, if it's $10 a piece, that's $100 in cheeseburgers, but you're only going to buy 8 cheeseburgers. So you don't need the full $100, you just need the $80. The bid is very specific as to times of day, weekends, holidays, whether it's to a polling place, whether it's, special cartage category has different options, but it's a very detailed report where they have to plug in numbers on a spreadsheet for many, many different categories.
And
And-
so based on that bid, we are maxing them, no matter what they do, we're maxing them at 1 million, is what you're telling me.
Because the finance department's analysis is that that's sufficient based on, it is the pricing, it's based on the pricing they submitted,
Okay.
but the reduction in some of the categories won't be needed.
And again, due to the detailed reporting they have to provide to us in order to get paid, they're essentially only getting paid for work that they actually perform for us.
Absolutely, yeah. It's like, it's an invoice, a very
Hope so.
itemized invoice, yeah. No, and Clint's department and the finance department, they go through those invoices with a fine tooth comb.
As I recall from previous years.
Yes,
So
yes, you're well aware.
We've sometimes had disputes about things, but we make sure they only get paid for work they actually perform. Right. Okay?
Yep.
If there's nothing further, what I'd like to do is break this down into the 4 geographical and then the special categories, 4 different motions. So first, the chair will entertain a motion to approve a bid award and to authorize the executive director to execute a contract with Midway Moving and Storage for cartage services in geographical area A with a cost not to exceed $1 million per election cycle, with a term beginning December 12, 2023 and continuing through December 12, 2024. Is there such a motion?
So moved, Commissioner Brown.
Seconded by Commissioner Cressy. All in favor say aye.
Commissioner Brown votes aye.
And Commissioner Cressy votes aye. Motion passes. And then a chair entertains a motion to approve a bid award and to authorize the executive director to execute a contract with Midwest Moving and Storage, Inc. for cartage services in geographical area B with a cost not to exceed $1 million per election cycle, with a term beginning December 12, 2023 and continuing through December 12, 2024. Is there such a motion?
So moved by Commissioner Brown.
Seconded by Commissioner Cressy. All in favor, say aye.
Commissioner Brown votes aye.
Commissioner Cressy votes aye. Motion passes. And now the chair will entertain a motion to approve a bid award and to authorize the executive director to execute a contract with Midwest Moving and Storage, Inc. for cartage services in geographical area C with a cost not to exceed $1 million per election cycle, with a term beginning December 12, 2023 and continuing through December 12, 2024. Is there such a motion?
So moved, Commissioner Brown.
And seconded by Commissioner Cressy. All in favor say aye.
Commissioner Brown votes aye.
And Commissioner Cressy votes aye. Motion passes. Now, the chair will entertain a motion to approve a bid award and to authorize the executive director to execute a contract with Aaron Brothers Moving System, Inc. for cartage services in geographical area D with a cost not to exceed $1 million per election cycle, with a term beginning December 12, 2023 and continuing through December 12, 2024. Is there such a motion?
So moved by Commissioner Brown.
And seconded by Commissioner Cressy. All in favor, please say aye.
Commissioner Brown votes aye.
And Commissioner Cressy also votes aye. Motion passes. And finally, the chair will entertain a motion to approve a bid award and to authorize the executive director to execute a contract with Aaron Brothers Moving System, Inc. for cartage services in the special cartage category with a cost not to exceed $28,000 per election cycle, with a term beginning December 12, 2023 and continuing through December 12, 2024. Is there such a motion?
So moved by Commissioner Brown.
Oh, thank you. Seconded by Commissioner Cressy. All in favor, please say aye.
Commissioner Brown votes aye.
And Commissioner Cressy also votes aye. The motion passes. Thank you, and thank you.
Thank you.
We now move to the next item on the agenda, which is the legal report, and once again, we turn to General Counsel Adam Laska.
Thank you again, Commissioner Cressy. Yesterday, we received notification that the final, or the outstanding contract contingency in the vote-by-mail contract has been fulfilled. The vendors that were awarded the contract, No Ink and Modern Litho, have been certified by Dominion for printing the vote-by-mail ballots, printing and mailing. So we were not too concerned about that, but that has been finalized. And other than that, we're just preparing for electoral board hearings. They're going to begin next week, Monday morning. And I'll be in touch with you about the details and the hearing officer assignments as we figure that out. But beginning today is when we start to receive these objections, so it's time to start analyzing them and getting those hearing officers assigned. So thank you for those contracts today so we can start that work.
Very good. Does that complete your report?
Yes, sir, thank you.
Very good. Next item on the agenda is the financial report. And the first item is a balance sheet and voucher listing for the City of Chicago. 2023 appropriation 23-08, dated December 12, 2023, in the amount of $373,145.92. Is there a motion to approve such balance sheet and voucher listings and appropriation?
So moved by Commissioner Brown.
Seconded by Commissioner Cressy. All in favor, please say aye.
Commissioner Brown votes aye.
Commissioner Cressy also votes aye. The motion passes. And secondly, a balance sheet and voucher listing for the County of Cook 2023 appropriation 23-04, dated December 12, 2023, in the amount of $244,135.34. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved by Commissioner Brown.
And seconded by Commissioner Cressy. All in favor, please say aye.
Commissioner Brown votes aye.
Commissioner Cressy also votes aye. Motion passes. We are now at the point on our agenda for public comment. Is there anyone who's requested public comment? No request for public comment. Then we move to the point of our agenda for executive session. General Counsel Lasker, is there a need for executive session today?
Not today, thank you.
Very good. We are now at that happy point in our agenda, which is adjournment. And as such, the chair entertains a motion to adjourn the meeting of the board. Is there such a motion?
So moved by Commissioner Brown.
And seconded by Commissioner Cressy. All in favor, please say aye.
Commissioner Brown votes aye.
And Commissioner Cressy votes aye. This board is adjourned.